Hello, I'm your host, Giselle Gamby, and this is the Intuitive Pull Podcast, where together we'll embrace the plans we did not make yet, unfold businesses and lives that are so much greater in wealth in all ways than any business or life plan could ever achieve. My wish is that you make intuition your most trusted advisor. So buckle up, get present, and let's go. Welcome, Aaliyah Sirengo. I'm so excited to be with you today, having met your beautiful, beautiful mother and having been so inspired by your family story that I had to meet you too.
Yeah, I'm really honored to be on your show. It's amazing. I've heard lots of great things about it, the mum, so I'm excited.
Oh, great. Yay. So I have a feeling, as I had a feeling when I was with your mum, that it was going to be a pretty profound conversation. I have the same feeling with you.
Yeah.
So let's see what wants to be created here. Can you just give us a little bit of background as to who you are, your age, where you're at in life, what you're up to?
Of course. So my name is Aaliyah Sirengo. I'm currently 17 years old, turning 18 in April. I was born in Kenya, raised pretty much in Qatar, and now I live in Australia. So I've lived all over the world. And I'm in year 12 now, my final year of schooling, and it's been a roller coaster of events. And yeah.
Thank you. So where do I want to go now? Your mum told me quite a few things that really stayed with me. What an incredible mother, what incredible parenting you guys receive, far out. So one of the things that she said to me was that she's raising you all because you've got 4 other siblings. Is that right?
I've got 3 other siblings. I've got a younger sister, a younger brother, and an older sister.
That's it. Beg your pardon. So when I spoke to your mum, she talked about raising you and your siblings from being a consumer to being a contributor and being of service to the world.
Yeah, she has been doing that for my entire life, as I can remember.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So what does that mean to you? How has that played out? How are you of service to the world?
I do it through my business. I've now learned that my purpose is to be of service of others. And sometimes people do it differently than the way I'm doing it. So the way that I might be giving service to other people will be different to how my siblings do it. But how I do it is I eradicate period poverty from our communities in Kenya, where we have the 2 schools in resource poor communities. And because I was born in that community, my story is, if I wasn't brought up here in Australia, those girls could have been me. So that's kind of my way of giving back to my community, even though I'm not exactly living in it.
How did that idea come about for you to contribute to eradicating period poverty?
It's actually not long ago. So in 2019, we built 2 schools in resource poor communities, as I said before. And in 2019 as well, we went over to Kenya and watched them be built, which was pretty amazing. And after a few months of it being open, I noticed girls weren't showing up. They were really different. And I was really, it struck a light bulb moment in me. And I was like, hold on, this isn't right, because here we are providing an amazing chance of education and girls aren't showing up. And after talking to the teachers there, I pinpointed the actual issue, which was period poverty. And I knew at that moment that was my way of being of service. So that was my way of going back to my community and how I can actually help provide them with the education that they deserve.
So what do you do to it? I know that you sent over, I think, over 700 sanitary pads last year.
Yeah.
How did you do that? Like, how did that come about?
So through my little sister and little brother's business, I was able to raise enough money to buy 2 sewing machines and to have a salary of 2 ladies from our community to sew sustainable sanitary packs that are then given out to the girls in our community with additional menstrual health education as well. So yeah, we make sustainable sanitary packs in Kenya. So,
That's amazing. And I just want to make sure that everybody understands, you're 17, you're in year 12.
Yeah.
Your little sister Amalia is 7.
She's 8 now.
Oh, 8 now. That's right.
Yeah.
I saw her birthday party.
Yeah.
And Marley is 12, or is he?
Yeah.
Yep, he's still 12.
Yeah, he's 12.
So the three of you together have contributed to the communities in Kenya, whereby more than 700 sanitary packs have been shared. And not only that, education at your age. That's amazing.
I know none of my friends are doing what I'm doing, and it's kind of like, this is amazing. And I'm like, but it's not over yet. We've got so many other opportunities out there that we can still kick butt in. So
tell us about that.
So instead of actually having it just in Kenya, we're thinking of having it in all over Africa. So we're already having ideas of having my foundation based in Rwanda. So we already have facilities there that can help us to do that, which I'm really excited about because we're spreading. And that's really cool.
That's amazing. Yeah. Far out. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. If people are inspired to contribute to your foundation, how can they do that?
I have a donation area. I have a fundraiser that I'll send a link to you if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Where they can
show notes.
Yeah, great. So yeah, they can just donate through that, and all the profits that I make through donations go straight back into my business.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. And I also learned that that you do public speaking events.
Yes, speaking of public speaking, I am holding an International Women's Day event on the 23rd of March, where it's called Can a Pad Empower? So I'm going to be talking to whoever is joining me, and we are going to see how collaboratively as a group we can eradicate period poverty. And I might have a panel, and it will just be a very fun educational night for everyone to be involved in.
So where do you get all this confidence from?
I don't know. I kind of just fake it till you make it kind of thing. I have learned that you've got to go out of your comfort zone, especially what I do, because periods are so stigmatized that you have to have the confidence to speak up about these things. And I've just learned that I can't do what I'm doing without pushing through my comfort zone.
You know what, I have a feeling, because you talk about, when we talk about period poverty, it's kind of like a conversation that you don't talk about.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be that.
Because it shouldn't be that.
The whole reason that we have period poverty is because of the stigma that society has associated with it.
So I've got a feeling, and if you don't want to answer this question, that's totally okay. All right.
No, throw it at me. I love questions.
All right. All right. I have a feeling that your mum loves A Course in Miracles as I do.
Oh yeah, she loves it.
Right. And one of the lessons is what I give is given to myself. Like what I give out is given back to me. And then one of the other lessons is about, the miracles that I've received. I give the miracles that I've received, right? And the more that we give them, the more that we receive them in return. And I've got a feeling that, and actually I'll say something else before I ask the question. One of the things that your mum also spoke about was that she has taught you guys to step through fear and to see the gold on the other side.
Yeah.
Yep. I've got a feeling that for you to be able to speak about something that normally is held in shame and therefore not spoken about, I have a feeling that you have gone through the journey of experiencing your own shame and having come out the other side of it. I'll leave it there for you to share anything, if that's true. I don't know if that's true. That's my feeling. If there is anything that you would like to share around that, around your own journey around shame and coming out the other side.
Yeah, I have so many stories around shame.
Right.
I don't know which one to start with though, really.
What's the most meaningful one, the big one?
The big one was, I felt like I wasn't on purpose way back before 2019 when we built to 2 schools. I felt like I didn't really have a need for this road. And then I needed like a spark. I needed a moment that I would know that I have a purpose in this life, if you know what I mean. And that people seem to be so lost in that they don't know they don't know what they can give to the world. And I was stuck in that place for not a long time, but long enough. I was stuck there for long enough, and I needed a way out. I need to have something else to focus on my life besides just not being on purpose. So knowing that I can have a project that's really true to my heart, because I'm really into women empowerment and person empowerment, really, and how not being held back by something that shouldn't actually be a reason for being held back.
What I heard and what I as I said, when I was on here with your mum and I'm on here with you, I kind of am astonished because there's so much depth in you and in your family. And we're talking about, like, there's depth in me, but I'm 50 too.
Yeah.
And my awakening happened like in my early 30s, and here we are. You're talking at 17 a few years ago, which you weren't even 17 a few years ago.
No,
where
I wasn't.
there was a sense of being lost for not knowing in what way you could give. I mean, I don't know in my life, I don't know anybody else that was your age that actually had that inquiry, allowed themselves to feel all the feels that go with that, and come out the other end with a real authentic sense of contribution. I don't know anybody like you. So I'm honored to meet you.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here.
What I hope by people listening to this is to welcome actually that same sense of introspection and to get honest with themselves, and to allow themselves to the listeners. I'm speaking to the listeners here, to the listeners, to allow yourselves to feel all the feels that come with not quite feeling, you're on purpose, and that there's a greater contribution that you can make. So that's what I always love interviewing people, because I never know what's going to happen. And I never know what's actually going to be created from the episode. And this, for me at this point, this is what's being created through you. You're the catalyst for inviting people to really go introspective and to feel all the feels and to come out the other side with a greater sense of purpose and contribution and joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. So there's another thing that, again, really stayed with me. This was probably the bit that the big headline or the big takeaway. I didn't have to go and re-listen to the episode to remember this. This is something that I think I'll remember for a long time. Your mum talked about forgiving the unforgivable.
Yes.
She said that her purpose is to raise children who can forgive, and that reward is peace, and that forgiveness is a superpower. So can you speak to us about that, about what that means in your life, forgiving the unforgivable?
I think that shows so much integrity to forgive something that is labeled as unforgivable, because you're never taught that. You're taught to say sorry, but you're not taught how to forgive, really. And mom telling me that you have to learn to forgive the unforgivable is how you learn a lot about yourself and how you can stay tuned to your inner peace, really. And I think that that's a lesson that I've really kept with myself, really. Yeah, so that's a really tough, you ask me such tough questions. Like,
is there anything that you want to share about how you learned to forgive the unforgivable?
I wouldn't say I learned it through personal experience, but I've learned it through a lot of observation.
Yeah, right.
Through my mom's business, yes, and through life itself, I have learned that actually forgiving is the best thing you can do.
Yeah. In
a sense. Yeah.
I love how I've never actually put those two words together, integrity and forgiveness. I love how you frame that true forgiveness isn't just saying I'm sorry. It's actually integrity.
Yeah.
Because the Course in Miracles talks about the way that we normally perceive forgiveness is by choosing if we decide today to be benevolent to another person, but in that we believe that we are superior to that person and that we are bestowing our benevolence to that person, whereas A Course in Miracles suggests that actually we're all the same.
Yeah, we're all
we're all the
same. Yeah,
we're all the same. And so true forgiveness isn't even an act of giving, it's an act of giving and receiving, because as we see beyond that misgiving and see who they really are, that gets reflected back to us. We receive in return. So yeah, I just love that word, integrity. Nice way of framing like true forgiveness. Your mum also talked about how the values that she holds within your family of the power of grace, the power of courage, and the power of gratitude. Is there anything that you'd like to say about that?
Courage and gratitude are the really core values in our family, and it's seen through all of our businesses. Actually, you can see it in Marley's business, where he has the 99% courage and 99% gratitude. Sorry.
Yeah.
And those are the two key things that we try to reflect in our work. We live in such a fear-based world that we need people to be courageous, to step out of that normality, to tell people how that what they're doing is not working. So in the sense of, let's say, society-wise, some things in society has been working for decades before, but now because we've entered a new generation of people, it doesn't work, and people don't understand that things need to change. People don't have the courage to change things like they were 100 years ago. And I think that's why we've been so held back as a world. We've been held back because people are too afraid to step out of their comfort zone and actually be like, that doesn't seem to be working for us.
So do you feel like when you talk about your business, do you feel and the service that is given through that business, does it feel courageous for you? Like, does it feel like you're stepping out, or does it just feel natural to you?
At the beginning, it felt like I was stepping out. I was so scared about, because I have been taught that you can't talk about periods because it's a taboo project and nobody wants to hear about it. It's something you just have to keep secret. And I've lived with that I learned that in school. It was really funny. I was even taught periods and the whole cycle by a male teacher.
Yeah.
And that was just completely off balance for me. And now that I have the resources and the voice to stand up for people who won't stand up for themselves, that's pretty courageous for me. Because if you ask younger me if I would stand up and be like, you can't say that about periods, she wouldn't do that. She would be backing up and be like, I don't want to talk about it because it's not a topic you talk about at school at all. And it's still such a taboo conversation to this day that it actually needs to be talked about more. I don't know why it's not talked about more, because it's not even dirty. It's natural. It's a biological factor of life, and it's how kids are made, and it's the cycle of life. It's literally life's flow. So I don't understand why it's become this huge, you can't talk about topic.
Well, through you, the shame is being transmuted.
Yeah, hopefully we're getting there.
Yes. What's your vision? Yeah, what's your vision?
It's to completely eradicate period poverty.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Wow.
But at the moment, it's going to be this thing in Africa.
Yeah.
Just to slightly scale it down. But I want to be able to lead my project in other countries, and mostly third world countries first, before I set my foot off to other countries as well.
You're amazing. Seriously, far out. If you're doing this already at 17, I don't know what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. Like, it's just absolutely limitless. And what's so beautiful, and also I hope that the listeners that this gets activated in the listeners as well is that there's not many people who at 17 know what they want to do when they grow up.
Yeah, I
And
don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but I know that. But what I do know is I want to be a difference. So that's the starting point.
yeah,
And what I'm doing, I'm already making a difference. So I can make an even bigger one, which is my plan as well.
I love it so much. Well, I just like to end with saying this, that through the demonstration of you, we get to ask ourselves, how big are we dreaming in terms of the difference that we want to make, in terms of the contribution, in terms of the service that we want to bring to the world? How big do we want to dream? And so thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for being. It's been an honor to talk to you. You're an incredible person.
Thank you. Thank you. And we'll connect afterwards, and I'll put the details in the show notes about how, if people are moved to either contribute to Aaliyah's foundation, or if even people are inspired to have you come and speak to their organizations.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah. So I'll put all those details in the show notes so that they can connect with you. Thank you so much for listening. I trust that you were intuitively pulled. If you liked this episode, please follow this podcast and share the love with your family, friends, and colleagues. Let them know that I'm here. And if you would like to have more communication with me, join the Intuitive Pull Facebook group, where you'll find details in the show notes, and you can let me know about what pulls you've been receiving by listening to these episodes. Until next time, so much love.